What up, B Squad? It is me, JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, you guys. This is Season 3, Episode number 9, you guys. This episode was titled Home to Roost, you guys. Oh, the ending of this episode. All right, you guys, well, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Raising Kanan, you guys, shall we? All right, you guys, so you guys know next week is the season finale, so we won't be back for Power until we get to Ghost, and I don't know when Ghost is coming back, because like I said, I know BMF comes back on March 1st, right? As I stated before, I will watch the first 2 seasons of BMF. If I like it, then we may potentially add BMF. I'm not certain, you guys. Don't hold me to that. But this episode right here, good episode. The ending of it, eek, I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll discuss it. But where we'll start up at is with the Black Michael Myers, right? So the Black Michael Myers, him and his crew, they were in one of them utility vans, right? And they were waiting for their girl Juliana to show up. And the Black Michael Myers is like, Juliana ain't never late. And so one of his guys is like, do you think we should leave? He's like, no, don't go. And so instead of it, when they said don't go, boom, these cars just swarmed, surrounded the van, and they were like, it's the cops. He's like, no, this ain't the cops. I was like, it's definitely not the cops, because the cops would have came out with guns drawn on y'all, but whatever, right? But actually, they did have guns drawn on them, but it wasn't the cops, because the cops would have their tactical gear on. You would see all kind of different types of guns. People would be in, a helicopter would be in the air and all that kind of stuff. I think this fool would know. But it's actually Juliana's cousin Joaquin, right? So Joaquin is telling him like, hey, my cousin Juliana, right? I know she was doing business with you, but at this point, it's a done deal, because she's swimming with the fishes. And he was like, the only reason why you're not deceased is because of your investors, right? So Pops and Snaps. And somebody left it in the comment section last week, somebody left it in the comment section. Oh God, who was it? Was it L. Thomas? If I'm wrong, y'all can, whoever was, please, I don't be meaning to forget who leave these comments, you guys, but my brain, I don't always remember. But I know somebody left a comment about the fact of why are Pop and Snaps working with Ronnie, which is a great question. Why would y'all work with him? Pops talk about how he's weird, and calls him Urkel and weird. So why would you want to work with the fool? Like, Ronnie would be the last person that Ronnie couldn't even shine my shoes. Ronnie couldn't do nothing for me. That man is creepy as hell, right? And I wonder if the writers intentionally wrote him to be like Michael Myers. Had to be. Now, remember, I told you, what's his name? Joaquin told him the reason that he's not dead himself is because of, his investors. This fool still wants to talk about Rock. I was like, dude, my God, you really have a hard on for Rock at this point. And it's terrible. Let it go, like Elsa said. So after that, we see the Black Michael Myers, and he pulled up on Pop and Snaps, right? And he was upset with them, like, why y'all didn't tell me about this? They were like, you're welcome. I was like, exactly. Like, you ain't gonna say, like, damn. Joaquin would have took you out, but Pop and Snaps vouched for your weird ass, and you up here pissed off at them. So Pop and Snaps is telling him that at this point, right, our money is fucked up in this shit. You ain't got no product. You ain't got nothing. And that's also what Joaquin said to him. Like, they saved your life for now, but I don't want my product in South Jamaica. And if it does make circulate its way back up there, it's gonna be your ass. That's your ass, Mr. Postman. And I was like, I believe Joaquin, right? Joaquin, just do it now. Like, just take him out, Joaquin, please. How much you need, Joaquin? You need, I mean, I'll give you my firstborn. Whatever you need, Joaquin, I will give it to you, Joaquin. I will give you whatever you need. Just take this nigga out. That's all I'm asking you, Joaquin. Take him out. That's all. So, back to Pop and Snaps, right? They're telling him that, remember, their money is tied up in this as well. And with him not having product to make money, they get, he's fucking them over. He was like, Rock fucking us over. They said, no, Rock is fucking you over, and that's fucking us over. So you got to figure the shit out, right? So later in the episode, we see, actually towards the end of the episode, to be more specific, at the end of the episode, we see as Pop, Snaps, and the Black Michael Myers, they're talking to Kanan, and they're basically telling Kanan, like, your mama is fucking up our business, and at this point, your mama got to be handled. I was like, Kanan, this is your mother, the woman who gave life to you. Would you really, granted, we know Rock has done some fucked up shit. We know Rock ain't the best person, but my God, at the end of the day, Rock is still your mama. Feel however you want to feel about your mama, but why would you spite your mama for the likes of Ronnie? I'm gonna take Pop and Snaps out of it. Ronnie, weirdo. Never mind. We'll pause here, and then we'll move forward, you guys. Now, next up, you guys, I'm gonna talk about Fame really quickly. It wasn't a whole lot with Fame, so we're gonna talk about Fame like for about maybe 3 minutes, maybe less than that. Now, Fame went down to, Shirley's bar, right? And remember, I didn't mention this last week. So last week, Fame went down to Shirley's bar, and Shirley gave him the demo that, him and Lou had done, right? And so he asked her, could he use the studio? And she was like, yeah, because he asked her, she's like, I don't think Lou's going to be around for a while. So he asked her to use the studio. She said, yeah, you can use the studio, but you're going to have to, make up for it around here, like cleaning up the bar and all this kind of stuff, right? Any loose ends that anything that she doesn't, that she can't do, he handles, right? So he's like, okay, cool. So in this week's episode, we see him down at the bar and we hear that damn song playing. I was like, my God, Fame. Somebody really should get rid of this song, because I just don't think that this song is going to be a good thing for Mr. Fame, right? Like, here's one thing I will say about Fame, you guys. I don't think Fame is, if he makes it out of this season, I'm be surprised. But I just don't see Fame lasting very long in this. He's not cut out for this, unless I'm hoping Fame and his mama they'll move. If they don't move, I do foresee Fame, kicking up daisies, basically, right? So, what's her name? Shirley. I think she's in the back room, right? And she and a friend of hers who owns some independent record labels, they're listening to the song, and I was like, eek. Okay. Once again, I want this song to go away, because this is Fame telling what he's done, and the police have already been looking at Fame. So I don't really think this is a good idea, sir, but okay. So the guy who has the labels, he wants to work with Fame, and he's asking him who produced the song. He said, oh, that's my boy Lou Thomas, right? And he's like, okay, cool. So I want to work with you, and I want to work with Lou. You guys, this right here, this particular scene right here, what is that man's name? Oh my God, it's been a minute since I saw Straight Outta Compton. But what was that white guy's name that wanted to work with NWA? That's who this white man is giving me. I forget that man's name. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but that's who he reminds me. Was it Jerry? I think the man's name was Jerry. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me. That's what this is giving me, right? But he, like I said, he wants to work with Fame, and he want to work with Lou. I was like, so Fame is like, oh, I saw Lou. I know how to get to Lou. You don't want to get to Lou because Lou is in bad shape. So at this point, we see not Kanan, but Fame. Fame went over to his old place that he got kicked out of. I still can't get past that, right? He knocked on the door, and who came to the door? You guessed it, creepy ass, the black Michael Myers, right? Go away. I was like, excuse you? Then he told him, go away. And, he yoked him up. I was like, damn, nigga, it ain't that deep. Kanan said, oh, God, y'all, that voice. I'm sorry. I don't want to complain about that voice all the time, but my God, this episode, it was so pronounced. I was like, oh, my God. Especially in this one scene later in the episode, I was like, sir. This scene wasn't so bad, but it's another scene that's coming up. I was like, oh, my God, can I just mute this shit? But Kanan told Fame, like, I don't know where Lou is. I'm not fucking with my family. Okay, Kanan. But Kanan did tell him, like, hey, Jukebox is having this performance, and so we're all going, so I'm pretty sure Lou was going to be there. And so when he closed the door, the black Michael Myers is going to look at him like, you going to a event and we ain't got no product. I was like, nigga, take your creepy ass on some fucking where. Go do something. Go whack off. Go do anything. But get the fuck away. My God. I know we probably going into season 4 with this weird ass nigga. My God, we're going into season 4 with this nigga. We are literally going into season 4 with this nigga. I cannot believe that. We going into season 4 with this nigga. The only thing that'll make going into season 4 with this motherfucker, something I can do, I can tolerate is if Neek comes back and takes this motherfucker out. I would relish in that. That is the only way I'm cool with this motherfucker going into season 4. But that's it, you guys. We'll pause here and we're gonna move forward. Next up, you guys, we move over to the police department, right? So the chief is talking to Burke's dad, right? And he's telling Burke's dad that the IA case has been closed because there was no evidence of wrongdoing, right? So Shannon's dad says, well, I want the case to stay open because you remember last week he talked to Nicole's dad, and so he says Howard set her up to cover up for his bullshit. I was like, you're half right. You're half right. Like, where y'all are going is not what it is. Y'all are way off the trail. And that's the interesting thing, though, when you think about it. I have this big question, right? Because we go back to it. If we go back to season 1, the reason why Raquel got pregnant by Howard in the first place is because she was his CI. She was his, ooh. God, I hope nobody ever finds that. What's going to happen? It's so interesting because Marvin knows that Kanan is Howard's son. He don't have no questions like, Rock was a rat. Rock went from a rat to a queen pin. That is so interesting when you really think about it. She went from a rat to the queen pin. But they are off the trail because they're thinking that, we'll talk about that in just a minute, but how Captain called Tanner down to his office, right? And at this point, because Burke's dad mentioned Laverne's name, and he was like, Laverne Thomas, and he was like, fuck. So he called Tanner down. Basically, they're trying to put 2 and 2 together, right? Remember, they are looking at Marvin, and they do want to take Marvin down for South Jamaica and the Baisley, right? They want to link him to that, and they want to link him to the Italians. Got it. Now, they're thinking that Burke stumbled onto something. She stumbled onto 100. Y'all are right that she stumbled onto Howard's shooting. Y'all just don't know who shot Howard. Y'all don't know who shot Howard. She put it together. She figured it out. And again, if that nosy bitch could figure it out, why the fuck can't y'all? Once again, Raquel was his CI. She got pregnant around the time that she was his CI. DEFCON, now, I think the only people who, she knew that DEFCON was gay. I think, like I said last week, I think Pop and Snaps know that DEFCON was gay, but they weren't really saying anything in last week's episode, right? So what the feds are now thinking is, because they think that Howard is working with Marvin, and with Marvin now being a part of the task force, that'll mess up their case. I was like, if that were true, it would mess up their case, but it's not true. He has no connection to Marvin. His connection is to Raquel and to Kanan. Kanan is the one who shot him, but hey, they don't know that. So when Howard got called into the office by, the captain mentioned everything, and so he was like, wait a minute. He said, yeah, I did go to her dad and tell him to, file an IAD. And so the captain said, well, why did you do that? He says, because you told me to clean this up. And then he said, and also, I'm not a snitch. Isn't that interesting? A cop ain't a snitch. Who would have thunk it, right? Who would have thunk that? So at this point, they, once again, like I said, they know that Juke was dating Nicole, and they think that Nicole got the drugs from Marvin, and that's the link between Marvin and Howard. I was like, y'all are way off, but hey. And then they do think that, they did mention his shooting, and they were like, that's probably what Shannon figured out. 100% it is what she figured out, but y'all's trail is way off. She was straight on it. Again, the bitch should have minded her damn business, because had she minded the business, she might still be alive today. Just saying. I don't miss her not one bit. Do you guys? Because I don't. Next up, you guys, we see as Rock pulled up on Howard, right? And so she needed help finding Lou at one point in the episode. And I'll go deeper into Lou in a little bit, but she needed help finding Lou. Turns out 2 cops found Lou. This fool was at a bar, drunk, breaking shit and just fucking shit up, right? So the cops took Lou out after he identified himself, right? So Howard has him in some kind of abandoned house, it looked like. And so he told him, your sister's on her way to pick your sorry ass up, basically, right? And Lou was like, wait a minute. You the person who told Rock about Scrap being a rat, but you were wrong. So his death is on you. And Howard was like, say one more fucking thing and I'm gonna blow your head off. I was like, I don't know if you want to do that, sir. Have you met his sister? Try it, and your head you might look like your friend Burke over there, right? So Rock pulled up on Howard, right? She was pissed off at Howard about the situation with Gerald. I'll go a little bit deeper. We already know about it from last week's episode, but I'll discuss it again later in the review, you guys. But she's pissed off because she now knows more about the situation with Gerald. And I said it, and I've been saying it. If you guys listen to my videos, I've been saying it for the last few episodes. Like, why was Howard lying to Rock, knowing full damn well that the FBI is looking into Marvin to plant this all on Marvin? Howard feels like she should just go ahead and do that, because that takes it off of she and Kanan and even him. And she was like, I'm not gonna sell my brother out. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not even upset about that. I really wasn't even pissed off about that, right? Now, moving back over to the feds, right? They pulled Jukebox down to the station. Remember, I told you they feel like Marvin is the one that gave Nicole the drugs. And they asked Jukebox if Marvin has a relationship with Howard. She was like, my dad don't fuck with the cops, so no. And she said, if y'all had anything, you damn sure wouldn't be talking to me. I was like, that is 100% correct. If these people had anything on Marvin, they would have already arrested Marvin and taken Marvin down to the station and booked him for, racketeering, whatever other racketeering, the the death of Nicole. Like there would be so many things that Marvin would never see the light of day ever again. Never, never, never. And the crazy thing is, they don't. I, we all remember season 1. That bad batch of drugs that Nicole got a hold to was from Kanan. That was from Kanan, not from anybody. It was from Kanan Stark. Now we'll pause here, and we're gonna wrap up this episode, you guys. Y'all, the beginning of this episode, Lou. My God, today, Lou. This fool was driving down the street erratically. I was like, what time of morning is this? Gotta be morning, because when nobody on the road, not even a cop, because I was like, so there was no cop on the street, like nobody. He even hit a damn car and continued to drive. Then this drunk fool went to a liquor store. I was like, now, this can't be real. You going into a liquor store, I'm pretty sure he probably had the reek of alcohol, and the man still was going to sell him some more alcohol until the man realized this fool ain't got no damn money. And then I was like, Lou, please don't do what I think you're going to do. He said, I'm going to do it. I was like, I would really prefer that you don't. He said, fuck you. I was like, oh, okay, Lou, fuck you too. This motherfucker pulled out the damn gun. I was like, I told you not to pull out that goddamn gun, Lou. And the man was going to reach for the button, to alert the police. He's like, I don't think you should do that. And the fool stumbled out. I was like, well, goddamn, Lou. Then the man, he went for his gun and shot at Lou. I was like, what the fuck? So then we see Marvin. So you guys remember they are moving the product in the Chinese restaurants, right? And business like is booming, right? Because they have an advertisement saying a new special sauce. I was like, clever. This just would not be a lifestyle for me. And I have family members who have, who dip in this, and I just don't understand how they dip in it, because you got to look over your shoulder every motherfucking day. And my family members have. And most of them have been to prison for it, and some of them have been back to prison for it. I never understand it. I mean, I know the money is good, right? Like, it's good money. It is. Because you got a lot of people who want to, shoot up and snort and all that kind of shit, right? I get it. It's good lucrative money, but at what expense? like this is a lose-lose situation. Like, you gotta look over your shoulder for competition or for the cops, and it could end in gun violence, gunfare, all that kind of shit. But hey, whatever. Now we see Rock. So Rock is meeting up with Juke. They're having dinner. They're at the diner, and Rock asks Jukebox, what does she want? Because there's, they moved from the one house to this new house, and Juke had some mail that went to the old house, but it came to Rock's new house, and I guess Juke tried to change. She did change the mail, but it still went to the house instead. And Juke told her, she really isn't sure what she wants to do. And Rock told her, hey, all I want for you is just to be happy and to find your joy. So Juke asked her, are you talking to Kanan? And Rock says, at this point, we don't have much to talk about. And Juke says, well, I can check on him if you want to. And Rock was like, no, I don't need you to do that. She said, it's always been me asking you about Kanan since you guys were kids. But today it's just literally me and you. Like, this is about Aunt Rock and, niece. After that, we see Marvin. So Marvin went over to Lou's crib trying to find Lou, and the landlord let him in, and the apartment was a pigsty. I was like, what do you expect when your brother is a goddamn lush and a drunk? Like, I mean, it ain't much you can expect from a nigga. You guys, the end of the episode, I just felt a way about the end of the episode, but we're getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so the landlord is telling Marvin, like, your brother gonna have to clean this shit up. He was like, okay, fine. He said, lock up and don't touch nothing, because I got a photographic memory. I was like, you gonna threaten the landlord? I'm like, do you see this, your brother's place? It is in disarray, right? So Marvin is talking, there's some guys who's, measuring the weight, right? And he asked them about Lou, And one of the guys was like, shit, I heard that he knocked over a liquor store last night. And he was like, fuck. So I've already talked about the fact that Rock pulled up on Howard. She asked Howard for help finding Lou. He found Lou. We'll wrap up Lou once we get to the end of the episode. So Marvin, he met up with Gerald, right? And I was looking at Gerald in this particular moment. I was like, ooh, Gerald's guilty conscience is eating him alive. So he told Marvin that he talked to Jukebox, right? And he told Marvin that he thinks he's good. And Marvin's like, so you breaking up with me? He's like, no. He says, I just think that the talks have really been helpful. And he says he doesn't want to feel like a burden. And Marvin was like, Gerald, you're not a burden. We're friends. I was like, your friend is working with the FBI, but okay. My God. Then we see Pebbles' old raggedy ass. Now, I will say something nice about Pebbles, because in this particular episode, the bitch didn't piss me off. Because Pebbles was actually nice to the girls for once. For once. They have the performance they have coming up, right? And she was telling the girls how proud of them she is. And, I was like, is this the same Pebbles that we've been looking at for the last few episodes? Because the Pebbles we've been looking at has been a bitch. And so we also find out that they're going to be singing to a track, right? So we get to the performance. I will say that they did a good job, right? The thing I noticed about them when they were, it was so funny. They had Salt and Pepper in the background. I don't know if Salt and Pepper was supposed to be performing as well, but I know that's the interest. They may not have had the clearance for Shawnee's I Love Your Smile, because they're opening for, oh wait, this ain't it. Or was it? Because remember, they're supposed to be opening up for Shawnee's. It is what it is, right? So I noticed that they were given when I saw those outfits that they wore, it gave a tinge of Escape with the tomboyish ways as well as TLC. So it gave a little bit of TLC and Escape, like tomboy but sexy tomboy at the same time. Now, after the performance, that's when Fez, wrapped up Juke. I was like, fuck, this girl can't have nothing good for herself. Her girlfriend, her music career, I see. Damn, her life really was tragic. When you think about it, Jukebox's life really was tragic. Po Jukebox, and then her cousin ended up taking her out. I feel so bad for old Juke. And she was a bitch in the original Power. Now, also, you guys, Crystal, that bitch was nice to her. I was like, that's interesting. Now, the police wanted to question her about her family's tie to organized crime, right? And I was like, ain't that about a motherfucker? Again, like I said, this girl just can't win for shit. Lou. I already talked about the fact that he was at the bar drunk and the cops got him, right? So after the performance, Kanan, he was talking to Rock and Marvin. And, Marvin is basically telling him, like, you threatening a social worker, you only gonna make matters worse for you. Like, they can rope you up and take you, wherever, right? He was like, and I could tell them some things about you and they can rope you. I was like, Kanan, shut up. And Marvin was like, I don't give a damn who your daddy is or who your daddy ain't. I'll take my belt off and whoop your ass my damn self. I was like, please do it. Please do it. Please fucking do it. So, Rock told him about, the situation that the business you was doing with Ronnie, you ain't doing that no more. He was like, you don't tell me what to do. You don't make those calls. I was like, this is the part of the episode where I said that accent got on my nerves. It was this particular scene, especially when he was telling Rock, you don't tell me what to do and shit like that. I was like, my God, can we please get rid of this shit? Now, moving over to Gerald. Marvin went down to the hospital because that's where Gerald is. Gerald is a complete mess, right? And the reason why Gerald is a mess because Gerald got high and put one of his daughters in the bathtub, and some hours later, the other one came and woke him up because the baby submerged under the water and drowned. I was like, Damn, Gerald. I mean, my God, I get that the feds are putting a strong arm on you, but your daughter, he said she was big enough to take a bath by herself. She may be big enough to take a bath by herself, but you still got a supervisor. My God, Gerald, you are a piece of shit. And so he did tell Marvin that they took the other girl. I don't blame them people for taking that other baby. Like, what the fuck? One of your kids drowned? Gerald. I mean, my mama used to stay on me because at a certain point in like, kids, you have to watch kids. Kids will, because like I said, I used to do it all the time. My mom used to get on me all the time. Like because she could hear me. Like our bathroom, we shared a bathroom when I was well, we always shared a bathroom, but especially as a little kid, my bathroom was right there by her, by her room. Like it was two doors, right? One door was led from my room because our bathroom was in the hallway. So I come out of my room and the door is right here in front of me. But from her room, it literally, you could exit her room, have to exit the bathroom and go into her room. So she would hear me, right? Because when I take it as a kid, I used to take a bath. I used to take toys in the bathtub. I used to take and play with toys in the bathtub. So I would play with my toys for a little bit. She would be like, stop playing with the toys and take your bath. So I would do that, but also there would be some times where I would just, when I get into the bathtub, I love the feel of warm water on my body, right? So sometimes I'll just lay there and I'll just let the water just, wash over me for a little bit, and then I'll get up. But there were times where I would fall asleep. That was actually one night that I fell asleep in that bathtub, and it wasn't even intentional. I fell asleep in that hole. And she came and knocked, and she was like, "Wake up," because she knew I was asleep. But at this, I was, for a boy, I was pretty big and, have long legs, so I wouldn't, go under. But damn, Gerald, you let your daughter go under. That you were that high. So he then told Marvin about him working with the feds, and it hurt. Man, you guys, because I've grown to like Marvin this season, and my heart broke for Marvin because I think he really liked Gerald, and I think he really valued this friendship with Gerald. But he ended up telling Gerald, you ain't shit. Your daughter is unalived because of you." So later in the episode, we see as the feds went to go wrap up Gerald, and Gerald done stuck himself and overdosed. I was like, well, I knew that was gonna happen though. I figured that one. And then you guys, the end of the episode. Oh my God, you guys, the end of the episode, it hurt my heart. My God, when they got Lou from that house, he was begging and pleading with Marvin, like, "No, Marvin, don't let her take me out. She's trying to unalive me, Marvin. Marvin, don't do this to me. I'm your little brother." I was like, "Oh, Lou." Like, you guys, my heart literally sank and broke for Lou. I was like, "Oh my God, Lou, please don't take my Lou out." So they're in the car, and once again, Lou is just crying and begging and pleading with Marvin not to do this. "Don't leave me out here." Now I'm wondering. Here's the thing. Here's a scenario, right? I don't know if they're going to necessarily take Lou out. I'm wondering if they're going to take him to rehab. That's what I'm wondering. But yeah, you guys, that is it. You guys, next week is the season finale, and my God, this episode was a good one. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.